fighting for a democracy. Fighting for a democracy. And understand the difference here. Understand the difference here. Moving.
When they asked her about the gun.
Yes.
And she, yeah, I got a Glock. What kind?
Yes.
And her answer was, and
Yeah.
And Those were invented by nervous white people around black people.
Tyrus just put Kamala Harris in the hot seat. Honestly, she has seemed ready for that seat for years with stiff speeches, nervous laughter, and answers that often leave people confused. This wasn't just another political joke. Tyrus went after her word salads, rehearsed laughs, and staged inspirational moments. If her speeches have confused you before, wait until you hear how Tyrus breaks them down piece by piece. After this, you may never hear her speeches the same way again.
And the VP Harris, she won't go to the border, probably because she'd rather take the magic school bus to the moon.
You guys are going to see. You're going to literally see the craters on the moon with your own eyes.
Oh my goodness.
With your own eyes. I'm telling you, it is going to be unbelievable.
With your own eyes.
Kamala Harris has become a clear example of someone who keeps moving up despite repeated mistakes. Almost like the normal rules don't apply to her. Forget rocket launches. She may be one of the few people to reach the vice presidency while relying heavily on nervous laughter, confusing sentences, and a smile that seems to say, "Yes, I practiced this in the mirror."
Then Kamala Harris getting mocked and criticized once again after dishing out another one of her now notoriously scrambled responses, which her critics have taken to calling a word salad. The vice president was meeting with the Jamaican prime minister, for example, when she blurted this out.
For Jamaica, one of the issues that has been presented as an issue that is economic in the way of its impact has been the pandemic. So to that end, we are announcing today also that we will assist Jamaica in COVID.
It's almost like America asked, "What's the worst leadership audition we could approve?" And Kamala walked in with a resume that sounds like a strange dream. She's a former prosecutor, a politician, and now the vice president. The role may be mostly symbolic, but she has somehow turned it into full-blown performance art. Every time she speaks, it feels like the first episode of a sitcom that no network would want to air.
Poor hubby. Poor hubby.
No.
And that laugh, that unforgettable laugh, it doesn't sound like the laugh of a confident leader. It sounds like a nervous teenager who got caught doing something wrong and hopes an awkward laugh will make the moment go away. Ask her about a serious world crisis, and you may hear the same nervous chuckle you'd hear at a backyard barbecue after someone trips near the food. Now imagine a room full of world leaders, and suddenly it feels more like an audition for a comic book villain than a serious political meeting.
So, I think it's very important, as you have heard from so many incredible leaders, for us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present, and to be able to contextualize it, to understand where we
Kamala talks like she's stuck in a never-ending job interview for a role she never prepared for. She puts words together like she's creating a riddle on the spot, then seems to forget what she meant. Listening to her speeches feels like opening a fortune cookie written by a tired AI. You keep waiting for the main point, but instead, the speech slowly turns into a long talk about almost nothing.
Do you regret not voicing your opinion in that moment?
Yes, and I actually have reflected on that, and I've written about that. I realized.
Would it have mattered if you did?
I don't know.
And this is the person standing just one step away from the Oval Office. She was supposed to bring charisma, connection, and inspiration to the ticket. Instead, Her messages can sound like a translation app stuck on shuffle. Watching her excite a crowd can feel like someone accidentally played a playlist called Corporate Buzzwords 2008. She uses words like moment, importance, together, and future. Then comes the laugh, and the speech is over. But this isn't just harmless awkwardness. Critics see it as poor leadership hidden behind a polished suit. Look at her record. At one point, she treated school absences as a serious issue and supported strong action against parents. Later, she presented herself as a caring voice for empathy and fairness. Critics may call that less of a change and more of a rebrand. In this view, her political image can seem to change with the latest polls.
I thought it was amazing that no one asked. You told the American people that President Biden was better than he ever was, and you couldn't keep up with him. And then he gets pulled out of the race because he has dementia. So on the record, you are saying that a old man with dementia, or whatever they want to call it, outworked you. And you were even the last person in the room. So why are you running for president again?
Then came the 2020 campaign, and what a mess it became. She started with big hype, crowded rallies, and nonstop talk about being a historic candidate. Then reality hit, and voters basically said, no, thanks. Her presidential campaign fell apart so quickly that it almost disappeared overnight. She didn't even make it to the primaries. One moment, she was seen as the next rising star. The next, she was barely remembered. Yet instead of fading into political history, she somehow became vice president. Apparently, in Washington, a failed campaign can still count as experience. Fast forward to today, and we have a VP who can somehow seem both invisible and awkward at the same time. Her major assignment was the border crisis. Remember that? She was asked to help address it, but her approach seemed to involve almost everything except going to the border. It was like hiring a lifeguard who sets up their chair far away from the pool. Instead, she traveled to Central America and told people not to come, as if saying it would solve the migration problem. The message was simple: don't come. And somehow, that was supposed to be the plan.
Moving forward, she couldn't move forward from that sentence. My IQ moved backward.
Kamala Harris is like that group project partner who does almost none of the work but still wants to lead the presentation. She shows up late, adds little, takes over the microphone with a long speech that goes nowhere, and walks away laughing like she did an amazing job. If politics had Yelp reviews, hers might say 2 stars. Showed up, didn't deliver, laughed a lot, not recommended. Her approval numbers seem to move as slowly as dial-up internet. Whether it's an awkward cooking video, a stiff photo opportunity, or another speech filled with confusing phrases, it can feel like accidental comedy. If late-night comedy didn't exist, she might have created it herself. She doesn't seem to be connecting with voters. It feels more like improv without realizing it. Then there's foreign policy. Sending Kamala to meet world leaders can seem like sending the class clown to speak with the principal. It isn't intimidating. It's almost entertaining by accident. Other countries might wonder if America is serious. Imagine spending years preparing for diplomacy, only to sit across from someone explaining a major global conflict like a simple children's story.
Worst things that you can say to people.
Yeah.
But I help people who harm people. God bless, good night, that's my time. That's what...
I think it's an excellent thing to acknowledge to a therapist.
Yes.
Here's the real twist. Kamala Harris was supposed to be the future of the Democratic Party, a rising star and trailblazer. Instead, she has become an example of what can happen when hype crashes into reality. She's like buying an expensive new gadget that stops working as soon as you open the box. Nice packaging, but little substance. Yet somehow, she keeps moving upward, not because everyone sees her as effective or trusted, but because the system keeps giving her opportunities. If mediocrity needed a mascot, she might fit the role. She isn't breaking barriers. Critics would say she's stumbling over them and then laughing like it was planned. At this point, her biggest achievement might be giving late-night comedy writers endless material. You barely need to write jokes when real life provides them. Her speeches can feel like punchlines that need a laugh track, not because they are clever, but because without one, they can leave people confused. Kamala Harris represents what critics see as politics becoming performance, where appearance matters more than results. It's style over substance, except the style feels awkward and the substance never arrives. America didn't just get a leader. Critics would say it got an ongoing political experiment.
I don't think Kamala will ever hold public office again.
Better not.
I don't think you can come back from it. Wasn't that she was outfoxed.
Lost,
it wasn't that she lost. I think you can certainly lose an election and run a good election and still.
She may believe she is building a lasting legacy, but critics might say she is creating a place in history as a vice president people will still joke about years from now. Forget Madam Vice President. Some may remember her as the word salad queen, known for nervous laughs and confusing moments when serious responsibility came up. Kamala Harris has become a political figure who can even make some supporters uncomfortable, not because she is bold, but because critics see her as awkward and unclear. She can explain something simple and still make it sound confusing. And just when it seems she might finally make a clear point, there's the laugh, that nervous sitcom-style laugh. If presidential debates became an open mic night, critics might joke that she could walk on stage, laugh for 5 minutes, and call it policy. That laugh has become her shield, her punctuation, and her escape. More than anything, critics see it as a sign that says, "I'm not sure what I just said, and neither are you, so let's laugh it off."
She never saw the video.
Yeah.
Okay? That's not someone who describes a video.
Yeah.
That's someone that they handed this to her, and she was like, "Elephant? Oh, I'll take it from here." And then she went out there. And she was not drunk. She was hungover, because she's way worse when she's hungover. That was hungover because she kept saying the same thing over and over again.
Her defenders argue that she is criticized because she is a woman of color, but critics say that isn't the real issue. They argue the bigger problem is that her political instincts can seem like a broken GPS, always recalculating but never reaching a clear destination. People don't criticize her because of who she is. They criticize what they see as an awkward political style. She once supported policies that critics say kept people in prison for low-paid labor, and voters remembered that. During the debates, she tried to present herself as a criminal justice reform supporter, but her past record kept coming back like embarrassing old social media posts. Many voters weren't convinced. Her campaign quickly lost support, and critics say it wasn't only her record that hurt her. It was also her struggle to connect with people. Kamala Harris can sound like she is speaking to a room of interns expected to clap. Critics hear little warmth or natural connection, just prepared lines that sometimes become confusing. When even people around a candidate struggle to explain their message, it raises questions. Imagine working for a candidate and having to search online to understand your own boss's platform. That's the criticism surrounding Kamala.
They surrounded, and then they formed a circle. And then they got together. Go the way.
And somehow, that was still enough to get her the vice presidency. Critics say it wasn't because voters demanded it, but because the party wanted a historic choice. It was historic, just not in the way they hoped. Instead of becoming a symbol of strong leadership, she became an example of what can happen when symbolism gets more attention than substance. Look at her role on the world stage. The vice president is supposed to represent America abroad, but critics say Kamala has sometimes made the job feel like an accidental comedy show. In overseas clips, she stands beside serious world leaders, smiling and nodding, before giving speeches that can sound confusing. It can leave viewers wondering if this is really America's best representation. Her approach to the border crisis was also heavily criticized, especially her message telling migrants not to come. Critics argued that such a serious issue needed more than a simple warning. Even her attempts to seem relatable have faced criticism. A cooking video of her chopping vegetables can feel awkward, while staged photos meant to look natural can seem forced. At times, her public image can feel almost too carefully created to seem real.
So powerful at the convention when you said you have guns. No, at the debate. At the debate,
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun owner.
I did not know that.
If
And I thought
somebody
that was
breaks in
powerful.
my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, yes. I hear that. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that.
But
my staff will deal with that later.
Yeah. I'm talking about the first time I've ever seen Oprah Winfrey stutter.
Yeah.
She was like, what she wanted to say, remember that stupid you said at the, which, was it the debate or was it the DNC that they drew me out and Stedman's pissed, he was double parked, waiting for this. Like, she literally said nothing. She's like, if Oprah can't save you, nobody can save you.
Her approval ratings seem to tell the story. Critics say they aren't low because she is unfairly targeted, but because many people aren't convinced by her message. Her numbers have often struggled, and if you ask how people really feel about her, the answer may simply be meh. That's the problem. She doesn't always create strong loyalty or strong anger. Instead, she can create indifference, and that can be dangerous in politics. Her speeches have also become a target for comedy, with critics saying she uses many words without making a clear point. She sometimes repeats the same phrases until people forget the original question. This is a politician who failed to make it through the 2020 Democratic primary race, yet still reached the vice presidency and remains a major political figure. Critics see that as less about merit and more about political strategy. They compare her rise to a participation trophy. She showed up, but didn't necessarily inspire or lead. In this view, her career reflects political optics, image, and hype being placed ahead of clear results.
You know what happened, Greg? The teleprompter went up and they cheered too long.
Yeah.
And she panicked because all she could remember, she couldn't remember the connection word. So she panicked. This ain't close, I'm telling you.
In a strange way, that's what makes her a symbol of modern politics. Critics argue Kamala Harris isn't the exception, but an example of a system that rewards presentation more than ability. She has plenty of public presence, but critics say it doesn't always look like strong leadership. Instead, they compare it to someone trying to keep a group busy while waiting for the bus. She wanted to make history, and in a way, she did, just not as she expected. Instead of becoming a trailblazer, critics turned her into a punchline. Maybe that's how history works sometimes. It doesn't always celebrate a hero. Sometimes it highlights a lesson. Kamala Harris may be remembered by critics as an example of how not to lead, inspire, or connect with people. She wanted to be the moment, but instead, she became the meme.